Here's a number that every "Make Your Car Last 500,000 Miles" video hopes you never look up. Out of more than 174 million vehicles analyzed in one of the largest automotive studies ever run, the average car had a 4.8% chance of reaching 250,000 miles. 4.8%. That's the real baseline. One car in 20. But inside that same data is the interesting part. Some vehicles hit that mark at nearly 8 times the average rate. Same roads, same weather, same gas stations. And here's what matters for you. The gap isn't just what badge is on the hood. Two identical cars, same factory, same year, routinely end up 200,000 miles apart in lifespan. The difference is a handful of owner habits, and unlike the badge, every one of them is still available to you no matter what you drive or how many miles are already on it. So today, the 7 habits that actually move that number, with the data and the why behind each one, not thumbnail promises. Habit number 7 is the one no longevity video ever mentions. It costs literally nothing, and I'd argue it quietly powers the other 6. And along the way, I'm going to kill one habit you've seen on every list like this, a famous one, because the data says it's not just useless. It's been costing American drivers about $2 billion a year. 3 promises planted. 26 minutes. Your odometer's next 150,000 miles. Let's start with the blood. 90 seconds of honest math before the habits, because the number in this video's title was chosen on purpose. The study I mentioned, iSeeCars, analyzing over 174 million vehicles, found the industry average car reaches 250,000 miles at that 4.8% rate. The best mainstream vehicle in the data, the Toyota Sequoia, hits 39.1%, and Toyota as a brand runs nearly 4 times the industry average. What separates the leaders isn't magic metal, it's proven, conservative engineering, and owners who follow the schedule, which tells you the 2 ingredients of a high-mileage car: a sane platform and sane habits. You control one of them completely, starting today. Now, the honest part that makes this channel different. Those videos promising 500,000, 800,000 miles. At 800,000 miles, you're not describing a maintenance plan. You're describing a lottery ticket with an oil change schedule. It happens. Taxi fleets and highway commuters produce outliers, but selling the outlier as the plan is how this niche lies to you. 300,000 is different. 300,000 is what the data says a well-chosen, well-kept car can genuinely do. It's ambitious, it's real, and the habits that get you there are the same ones that make 200,000 feel routine along the way. One more piece of math to hang on your fridge. The average new car in America now costs over $48,000. Every extra year you extract from your current car is roughly a year of not making that payment. These 7 habits are worth more per hour than almost anything else you'll ever do with a weekend. Habit 1. Ask any mechanic what separates the 300,000-mile engines from the dead ones, and before they finish their coffee, you'll hear the same answer. Oil. When a veteran master tech gets asked to rank what matters, the podium is always the same: engine oil and filter, engine air filter, transmission fluid. Habit 1 is the top of that podium, and it has 3 parts people get wrong. Part 1, the interval, and the trap inside it. Your manual's number is the law. For most modern engines on synthetic, somewhere between 5 and 10,000 miles, with the oil life monitor doing real math on your actual driving. But here's the fine print that voids most people's plan. Nearly every manual lists 2 schedules, normal and severe, and then defines severe as short trips, stop-and-go traffic, extreme heat, extreme cold, towing, dusty roads. Read that list again. That's not the exception. That's an ordinary American commute. If your daily drive is 15 minutes across town in summer traffic, you are the severe schedule, and following the normal interval means running every change 10 to 30% long for the entire life of the car. Compounded over 300,000 miles, that's the whole ballgame. Find the severe column in your manual tonight. If your driving matches it, and it probably does, that's your number now. Part 2, the spec, not just the brand. The debate people have, brand X versus brand Y, is the wrong debate. The right question is the viscosity and certification your manual demands. The 0W20, the 5W30, the exact spec code on the lubricant page. Modern engines are built with tolerances designed around that number. Tight variable valve systems and turbos genuinely misbehave on the wrong grade. Photograph your manual's spec page, keep it in your phone, and say the grade out loud at every counter. 2 seconds, and you've closed the single most common quiet mistake in the oil aisle. Part 3. The one almost nobody does. Check the level between changes. Here's a secret hiding in plain sight. Many perfectly healthy modern engines consume some oil between changes. Some manufacturers openly call a quart every couple thousand miles normal. Do that math against a 7,000-mile interval, and an engine can be multiple quarts down, scraping the bottom of its safe range, with no leak, no smoke, and no warning light until it's genuinely low. The engines that die mysteriously at 150,000 were often never broken. They were just quietly under-lubricated for years, 30 seconds of dipstick at a time. Once a month, first fuel stop of the month, engine cold, level ground, pull the stick. That's 12 checks a year standing between you and the most preventable engine death there is. Oil discipline, severe schedule honesty, exact spec, monthly level. That's half the game in one habit. And if you saw our oil change video, you already know the 60-second ritual that protects every one of those changes. The other half of the game lives in a fluid most drivers have never once looked at. Open your manual to the transmission section, and you may find a phrase that has quietly killed more transmissions than any pothole. Lifetime fluid. Here's what that phrase actually means, translated from marketing. The fluid is designed to last the warranty's lifetime. Nobody defines whose lifetime, and the manufacturer's honest stake in your car ends around 100,000 miles. Ask transmission rebuilders, the people who profit when this goes wrong, what they see, and the answer is brutal, burnt, black, never changed fluid in transmission after transmission that died at 120, 140, 160,000, right after the warranty, right on schedule. The mechanics of it. Automatic transmission fluid isn't just a lubricant, it's the working blood of a hydraulic computer. It transmits force, cools the clutches, and carries away the microscopic wear material of every shift. Heat is its enemy, and heat is its job. By 60,000 miles, it's carrying real debris. By 120,000, it's often cooked. And a transmission failure isn't an inconvenience. On a 10-year-old car, it's frequently the death sentence, because the $4,000 to $6,000 rebuild exceeds what the car is worth. The habit, a fluid drain and fill, not necessarily a flush, and the difference matters, every 50 to 60,000 miles. First one no later than 60,000. A drain and fill swaps a third to half the fluid gently, costs $100 to $200, and is the single highest return maintenance dollar after oil itself. Now, the controversy you've heard, never change old fluid, my uncle's transmission died right after a flush, deserves an honest answer. Those stories are usually survivorship in reverse. The transmission was already dying. The fresh fluid, with its restored detergents, just revealed it. Or an aggressive machine flush on a neglected 180,000-mile unit stirred up what gentle drain and fills would have removed safely years earlier. The lesson of those stories isn't never change it. It's start early and do it gently. Start at 60,000, and this controversy will simply never apply to you. And the 2-minute check between services. Many cars still have a transmission dipstick. Fluid should be pink to red and nearly odorless. Brown and smelling like burnt toast is your transmission asking for help while help is still cheap. No dipstick on yours? That's a sealed unit, which makes the 60,000 service more important, not less, because you've got no gauge and one chance to be proactive. Habits 1 and 2 prevent slow deaths. Habit 3 prevents the sudden one, because while worn oil kills engines over years, overheating kills them in an afternoon. Here's the asymmetry that makes cooling the most underrated system on your car. A $15 thermostat, a $40 hose, a $100 water pump. Every part in the cooling system is cheap. But the failure of any of them ignored for even one hot drive warps cylinder heads and blows head gaskets. And now the cheap system has caused a $2,000 to $4,000 engine event. Cooling is where small neglect gets the biggest multiplier on the whole car. 3 sub-habits, none over 2 minutes. Watch the needle like it's a fuel gauge. Most drivers can tell you their fuel level within a few miles and haven't consciously looked at their temperature gauge in months. Your engine's normal is a specific spot, usually dead center, and it holds there like a rock. The habit is knowing you're normal because the killer isn't the day the needle hits red. It's the 2 weeks before, when it sat 1 needle width higher than usual and nobody noticed. Temperature creep is a failing thermostat, a tired water pump, or a low level announcing itself politely. Creep noticed equals a cheap part. Creep ignored equals the head gasket. Check the overflow tank monthly. Same fuel stop as your oil check. 30 seconds. Engine cold. Look at the plastic tank's amine and max lines. Coolant doesn't get used up any more than refrigerant does. A dropping level means a leak finding its way out, and finding it at the top-up and monitor stage instead of the steam on the interstate stage is the entire difference. And the iron rule your grandfather knew: never, ever open a radiator cap on a warm engine. The system is pressurized and it will scald you. The plastic overflow tank has lines visible from outside precisely so you never have to. Change the coolant on the manual's schedule, usually every 5 years or 100,000 for modern long-life formulas. Old coolant doesn't just cool worse, it turns acidic and starts eating the system from inside. Radiator seams, heater core, water pump seals. And when it's topped or changed, the type matters. Coolant colors are not a standard. Mixing incompatible chemistries can gel, and your manual's spec beats whatever's on sale. Sound familiar? Same lesson as oil, same lesson as transmission fluid. The manual's page beats the shelf's marketing, every time. Here's a number that reframes everything. A huge share of an engine's total lifetime wear happens in the first 60 to 90 seconds after a cold start. Not the highway miles, not the red line pulls on a warm engine. The first minute, every morning. Why, overnight, oil drains down into the pan, and cold oil is thick. It doesn't flow into the engine's tightest passages instantly. Cold metal parts are also literally different sizes than their warm selves. Clearances are wrong until temperature brings everything to spec. So for that first minute, your engine is its most vulnerable self. Marginal lubrication, wrong clearances, rich fuel mixture washing the cylinder walls. The habit is 2 rules, and the second one kills a myth. Rule 1. The first mile is gentle. Always. Start the car. Give it the length of a seatbelt and mirror check. 10, 20 seconds. Then drive, softly. Low revs, light throttle. No hero moves until the temperature needle lifts off its peg. Every cold morning you hear a neighbor start a car and immediately rip down the street. That's the sound of someone spending engine life like it's free. Rule 2. And here's the myth dying early. Do not idle it for 10 minutes to warm it up. That advice was true when carburetors roamed the earth, and it's been wrong for 30 years. A modern engine warms up fastest and wears least under gentle driving load. Idling warms it slowest, in its richest, most cylinder-washing state, while burning fuel to go nowhere. 30 seconds of idle, then gentle motion. Your grandfather wasn't wrong for his car. His advice is wrong for yours. And the bigger version of this habit, the one that explains why some identical cars die at 130,000 while their twins cruise past 250, short trips are the severe service. A 5-minute drive never gets the oil hot enough to boil off the moisture and fuel that blow by into it every cold start. So the oil slowly becomes a contaminated soup that never gets cleaned. You can't always change your commute, but you can combine errands so the engine gets fully hot once it's running. Take the 20-minute route once a week and be honest about the severe schedule from habit 1. Cold starts are the tax. Full warm-ups are the refund. Every 300,000-mile car has an owner with the same reflex. Small problems get fixed the same month they appear. Because on a car, problems don't wait politely. They compound, and they always compound in the expensive direction. The $40 oxygen sensor you ignore runs the engine rich for a year and takes out the $1,200 catalytic converter. The $90 leaking valve cover gasket drips onto the serpentine belt until the belt lets go on the highway, and on many engines that belt runs the water pump, so now Habit 3 fails too in the fast lane. The $150 brake pads, ignored while they squeal, chew the rotors and double the bill. The check engine light with the loose gas cap code that never gets read masks the new code 6 months later that actually mattered. That's the pattern, and it's worth saying as a law. On a car, a small problem is just a big problem that's still cheap. The 300K owners aren't richer. They're actually spending less over the car's life because they buy every repair at its minimum possible price. The habit in practice: any new light, noise, drip, or smell gets diagnosed within 2 weeks. Diagnosed, not necessarily fixed. Sometimes the answer is schedule it for next month, and that's fine because now it's a plan instead of a surprise. A $30 code reader, the noise chart, and the triage skill to rank what's urgent. That's the whole toolkit. And that toolkit is literally what the complete driver's defense kit is. The dashboard lights ranked by how fast you must act, the 15 codes with the cheap cause to rule out first, the noise chart, the fair price card for when the fix needs a shop. $39, first link below. I'll give it a proper minute at the end. Habit 6. This one's for your next car, because Habit 6 is admitting the data's other half. Maintenance multiplies a car's potential, but the platform sets it. Remember the spread. 4.8% average, 39% for the best. Perfect habits on a fragile platform gets you an above-average fragile car. The good news: you don't need insider knowledge because the longevity data is public and the pattern in it is boring on purpose. The vehicles that dominate the top of every long lifespan list share a personality. Proven engines that have been in production for years, conventional automatic transmissions over experimental ones, naturally aspirated or mildly boosted power over highly strung tiny turbos, and model generations in year 3 or later, after the first owners found the flaws for free. The vehicles that dominate the bottom share the opposite: first-year redesigns, novel transmission tech, and engines under active recalls. And if you've watched the news lately, you know even giant brands ship engine disasters. There are hundreds of thousands of nearly new trucks under engine recall right now. Badge loyalty is not a longevity plan. The specific generation's track record is. The 2-minute homework before any purchase: search the exact model, year, engine for problems and recall. Check the VIN on the free Federal Recall tool, and treat a used car's maintenance records as more valuable than its paint, which, conveniently, is the perfect setup for the habit nobody talks about. Loop 2. Paying off. The habit no longevity video mentions, the one that costs nothing, and the one I said quietly powers the other 6. Write it down. Every service, every fluid, every part, every date and mileage. Keep the log. Sounds like paperwork. It's actually the operating system for everything else in this video, 3 ways. It makes the other habits real. I change my oil regularly is a feeling. A log is a fact. And the moment you start keeping one, you discover you're regular. 5,000-mile interval has quietly been averaging 7,400. Every habit in this video decays without measurement. The log is the measurement. It's also where patterns become visible. Topping coolant twice in 3 months feels like nothing in the moment. In the log, it's obviously a leak. It changes how shops treat you. Walk in with a documented history. Dates, mileages, what was done. And you've silently reclassified yourself from customer who can be told anything to owner who will check. Upsells get rarer. Diagnostics get faster because your log answers half the questions. The binder or the notes app is armor. It's worth actual cash twice. At trade-in or private sale, documented maintenance history adds real money. Buyers pay premiums for proof because proof is rare. And if your engine ever fails under warranty or recall, the manufacturer's first move is asking you to prove the maintenance was done. The log is the difference between a covered engine and a denied claim. Paper notebook in the glove box, notes app, spreadsheet, the format is irrelevant. The habit is everything. And yes, there's a ready-made maintenance log with the interval schedule built in inside the defense kit. Print it tonight and backfill what you remember. Your log starts today, whatever mileage you're at. And now the famous habit from every list like this that the data says to fire. Buy premium gas. Your engine deserves it. Unless your manual requires premium, this is the most expensive placebo in America. AAA tested it properly. In engines designed for regular premium fuel produced no meaningful benefit, no added horsepower, no better economy, no cleaner engine, and American drivers were burning about $2.1 billion a year on octane their cars couldn't use. Octane isn't quality, it's knock resistance, and an engine tuned for 87 gains nothing from 93. The one honest nuance: premium recommended cars run fine on regular with a slight power haircut, while premium required, check your fuel door, means it, especially under boost. Everyone else, buy regular from a top-tier certified station. That certification, which is about detergent levels, is the one that actually showed measurably cleaner engines in testing and put the savings toward Habit 2's transmission service. Same money, infinitely better trade. While the myth guillotine is out, engine flushes for maintained engines. No, we covered that. Mystery additives on top of properly spec'd oil. No, the oil's chemists already balanced that recipe. The pattern behind every one of these. Real longevity is boring, and boring doesn't sell bottles. The manual, the log, the intervals. That's the whole religion. Before the wrap-up, let's total the bill, because take care of your car always sounds expensive until you actually add it up against the alternative. Here's a year of all 7 habits on a typical car. Oil changes on the severe schedule instead of stretching them. Maybe one extra change a year. Call it $60 to $90. The transmission drain and fill, $100 to $200, but that's every 3 or 4 years, so call it $50 a year averaged. Coolant service, averaged out, maybe $30 a year. The monthly dipstick and tank checks, free. The gentle first mile, free. Fixing small things fast doesn't cost extra. It's the same repairs you'd eventually do anyway, just bought at their cheapest possible price. The log, free. Even throwing in a code reader the first year and rounding up generously, you're looking at somewhere around $300 to $400 a year to run every single habit in this video. Now, the other column. The average new car in America, over $48,000, which at today's rates means roughly $8,000 to $9,000 a year in payments, before the insurance jump that comes with it. So the entire 7-habit program costs about 2 weeks of a new car payment, and its whole purpose is to delay that payment by years. If these habits buy you just 2 extra years from your current car, and the data says a well-kept, proven platform routinely gives you far more, you've turned $400 a year into $16,000+ kept. There is no investment account on earth offering that return. That's the real answer to, is all this maintenance worth it? It's not even close. The most expensive thing you can do to a car is replace it. The second most expensive is neglect it until you have to. The questions that fill every longevity comment section, rapid fire. I'm at $150,000 and I've done none of this. Too late? The opposite. You're the person this video pays fastest. A car that's survived $150,000 on neglect has already proven its platform. Give it the habits now, and the next $150,000 is genuinely on the table. Start gentle. Oil on the severe schedule. A transmission drain and fill. Gentle, not a power flush, at that mileage. Coolant check and start the log at today's mileage. High mileage formula oil, with its seal conditioners, is one of the few special products that's actually worth it past $120,000. Repair it or replace it. My car needs $2,000 of work. Run the math that dealers hope you won't. $2,000 is roughly 3 months of an average new car payment right now. If the repair buys you even 1 more year, you win by thousands, and you know this car's history, while a used replacement is a stranger. The honest exception. When repairs become monthly and structural, rust, transmission, engine, on a low-value car, that's when you shop. One big repair on a known car almost always beats a payment book on an unknown one. Manual says 10,000-mile oil changes. You're saying that's wrong? Not wrong. Conditional. That's the normal schedule. Check the severe column against your actual driving. Highway commuter doing 40 minutes each way. The normal schedule genuinely fits you. Congratulations. You have the cheapest driving pattern in America. 5-minute trip city driver, you were always the other column. Does highway driving really matter that much? It's the quiet cheat code. A 150,000-mile highway car has maybe a third of the cold starts of a 150,000-mile city car. Fewer of those brutal first minutes from habit 4. Longer full-temperature runs, less brake and transmission abuse. It's why the used car cliché highway miles actually deserves its reputation, and why the log matters when you sell. Prove your miles were the good kind. The 7 one breath each. Oil. Severe schedule, exact spec, monthly dipstick. Transmission. Drain and fill by 60,000. Lifetime fluid is a warranty joke. Cooling. Know your needle's normal monthly tank check. Coolant on schedule. First mile. 30 seconds of idle, then gentle. Never the 10-minute warm-up. Small things, fixed within 2 weeks, while they're still cheap. Next car. Buy the proven generation, not the badge or the year 1 redesign. And the log. Write everything down, because the log is what keeps the other 6 honest, and it's worth cash twice. Plus the firing. Premium gas in a regular gas car is a $2 billion a year national tip jar. Manual, log, intervals. Boring wins. Everything in this video lives as printed pages in the Complete Driver's Defense Kit. The full maintenance schedule by interval, the maintenance log ready to print for Habit 7, every dashboard light ranked by urgency for Habit 5, the fair price card, so each of these services costs what it should, plus the codes, the noises, and the used car inspection for Habit 6. 9 guides, a printable glove box pack, $39 once. First link below. It exists so this video doesn't fade by Friday. It becomes the binder in your glove box.